So our role in heart health is very, very significant. It has a huge impact on prevention as well as management of heart diseases. So as I told you earlier, why wait for the disease to occur? So we can be alert even before going for any kind of cardiac issues. Prevention is the best cure. So from a rightful age, we start being very cautious about the kind of foods we are taking and the kind of physical activities we are having. So my suggestion to most of my clients is the mantra is your habits. Everything falls down to your habits. If you have a healthy habit, unless it is something which is runs into the family and there is some congenital problems, that is a different case. But the things which we can control, if we inculcate very good habits right from the early age, then all the risk factors can be minimized. And one of the best habit is the dietary habits, the kind of food choices. So even for the youngsters, even for the children, we train them in such a way that they prefer to have better food choices early in their life. So coming to the different biomolecules which are involved in the CVD, the most important one, which is the main contributing factor for atherosclerosis, that is the fats. So some of the people have a notion that fats have to be strictly restricted, completely restricted in the patient. So that is not correct, because we have certain fats, unsaturated fats, which really help us to bring down the level of LDL and improve the level of HDL. So HDL is a healthy cholesterol which will help in mobilizing whatever cholesterol is being stored in the body and convert it into a utilizable form. So it is always advised for the patients to go for some kind of fat involvement in the diet, but the kind of fat they choose is very, very crucial. So never restrict the fat completely. Some of the research studies also say that if you restrict the fat completely in a person, first thing is all the fat soluble vitamin absorption, assimilation will be badly affected. Second thing is if you completely restrict the fat, there is also chances of people going through depression and withdrawals and cravings. And that leads to a double effect when they give up with the diet and suddenly consume huge amount of fats. So always encourage people to take up fats, good fats, which will help them in mobilizing the cholesterol which is being stored. So saturated fats are a big no. Saturated and trans fats, because they'll increase not only they'll increase the LDL level, they will also inhibit the activity of the LDL receptors. They will increase the triacylglycerides, the total cholesterol, and also the C-reactive proteins, which is an important inflammatory marker in the heart diseases. So all the inflammatory reactions will definitely trigger more of complications in the heart diseases. So it's always advisable that the C-reactive proteins, the inflammatory markers, everything is at a minimum level. And saturated fats help in increasing these factors. Then coming to the dietary cholesterol. So we biosynthesize cholesterol in the liver, but besides that, we also get some amount of cholesterol from our diet. So in case of heart patients, non-veg diet is very much discouraged, because that leads to elevated intake of dietary cholesterol. Another thing here is if the person is taking a non-veg diet, they should be encouraged to take more of fish and fish oil extracts, and also the fish which is being cooked. The cooking methods are also very important. You cannot have a totally oil laden fried fish and then say it's good for the heart, of course. So the kind of method which is involved is also important. And among the non-veg diet, the best food which can be suggested to the patient will be fish. The dietary cholesterol should never exceed 300 mg. So you have to be very, very careful the kind of foods the persons are taking in case of a non-veg diet. So generally, the vegetarian diet is preferred. Then increased levels of plasma cholesterol and total cholesterol have been led because of the dietary cholesterol intake. And also there is increased LDL synthesis. Then coming to the unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These are the most important fats which are really very good in helping us dealing with the cholesterol issues. So as per the latest study by ICMR, 8 to 10% of the total energy. So the total energy of fat in our total calories is 35%. So out of that, 8 to 10% of that energy should be coming from polyunsaturated fats, and remaining should be coming from monounsaturated fats. So this all the blended oils we take, the sunflower, the safflower oil, the rice bran oil. So all these contain, even the fish oil, these contain these unsaturated fatty acids, that is omega-3 and omega-6. So these fatty acids promote esterification of cholesterol. That is, they help in converting the cholesterol into utilizable form. So once the cholesterol is converted into utilizable form, the excess cholesterol will be absorbed. It will be excreted out with the help of the bile secretions and the liver involvement. So it is very crucial for us to take up the good fat. So suppose imagine a person who has completely restricted the fat intake, has completely foregone fat, will be having a loss here because the polyunsaturated fatty acids are promoting esterification of cholesterol, which is a very important step to make the cholesterol excreted out of the body. Then another very important aspect of polyunsaturated fatty acids is they are precursors for various factors. So especially the arachidonic acid, it is precursor for prostacyclins, thromboxanes, and leukotrienes. So prostacyclins, thromboxanes, and leukotrienes, they are both vasoconstrictor and vasodilator. They work together synergistically and they prevent the thrombosis formation. So from this chart, your take-home message would be that never completely restrict the patient from fat consumption, but encourage the patient to take only the unsaturated fats, especially the omega-3 and omega-6. I hope I'm clear. If anything, any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. Once the presentation is done, I'll take up the doubts also. Coming to the other aspect, that is carbohydrates. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
So carbohydrates, the total carbohydrate intake, as we all know, it should not exceed 60%. And the patients should be encouraged to take only complex carbohydrates. So we know all over the media these days, it is about the International Year of Millets. So recently in G20 also, you have seen a lot of dishes have been made out of millets. So why millets are being promoted so much is they are very good because they are complex carbohydrates. They have low GI index, which really gives a lot of satiety to the patient. And there's a lot of fiber, lot of other nutritive values added to the food when the person consumes the whole grains like oats and millets. And also high fiber foods should be encouraged. So always a patient has to be very much cautious about the kind of fiber taken, because especially for cardiac patients, it is never advisable to be deprived of fiber, because constipation also leads to lot of load on the heart and lot of other complications. So we have to make sure that the cardiac patient is never constipated. So the patient's fiber levels also have to be checked. And a lot of fiber you can get soluble and insoluble fiber. You can also get from oats and whole grains. So always encourage them to take up complex carbohydrates because they provide satiety. That is one thing. And other thing is they will increase the HDL levels. They will aid in increasing. So it's like an indirect effect. Directly, HDL levels always increase with more of physical activity, more of exercise, more of being active throughout the day. Not that just in the morning, some section of the morning you are active and then whole day you are sitting. Whole day you have to be active in some or other way so that your HDL levels are better. Coming to the simple sugars. So always avoid the simple sugars because they are the main ones which will decrease the HDL levels, and they will increase the LDL, they will increase the triglycerides. Then, of course, as I earlier said, the processed foods, high sugary foods have to be really cut down completely. And discourage the patient from taking any kind of, my advice would be not to take any kind of artificial sweeteners also, because certain artificial sweeteners have a mixed response, like they are low on calories, But again, they have an adverse effect in the case of cardiac patients. So it is always preferable to train them in such a way that they get habituated of less sugar in the diet instead of going for processed or high sugary foods or foods with artificial sweetness. Then high GI food, again, high GI food will have a triple action. As I told you, it will have a direct effect on the glucose intolerance. It will have an effect on insulin resistance. So it will lead to diabetes and it will lead to obesity. So multiple risk factors will come together and they will further complicate the issues. So I think there are some messages. Okay. Then coming to the next one, that is proteins, vitamins, and minerals. So as earlier I told you, non-veg diet has to be strictly restricted, but only fish and fish oil extracts have to be encouraged. Then vegetarian diet with lot of colors. Keep this in mind always. The colored food is always advisable for every kind of ailment, whether it is hypertension, whether it is diabetes, whether it is weight loss, whether it is cardiac. The more colorful your plate, the better will be your health. So the colors in your plate are made up of a lot of antioxidants, flavonoids, okay, beta carotenes, carotenoids. All this will help you in getting more of the vitamins and the fiber. So vegetarian diet with lot of variety of legumes, grams, vegetables, fruits, and also the low fat. So dairy products also should not be completely removed from the patient's meal plan because they also have a contribution in checking with the calcium levels of the body. So always advise a patient to go for low fat dairy products. Then non-veg diet, as it is restricted, what happens is when non-veg diet is restricted for patients, generally the patients tend to have some kind of deficiency. Especially you imagine that a person who has been on a non-veg diet for a very long period of his life has suddenly restricted himself to a vegetarian diet. So you also have to keep in mind the liking and dislikes of the person. So the chances are the person will undereat. And sometimes the chances are that the kind of food selected will not be very much appropriate. Then in those cases, it is advisable to go for some kind of supplements, at least for the initial period, like vitamin A, B6, B12, and folic acid supplements also have to be given. Folic acid supplements are very important because again, they have a loop actually. The folic acids will again have a loop with homocysteine levels, and if you have a raised homocysteine level in your body, lot of inflammatory reactions and oxidative stress will increase, which will lead to damage in the cardiac cases. So all these things have to be taken care of. So for that reason, because the non-veg diet is completely restricted in the patient, some amount of supplements have to be given, so they will help in lowering the risk, and as I told you, by decreasing the homocysteine levels. Then the other strategy which is applied here is niacin and statin. So niacin and statin along with bile acids, bile acid sequestration therapy, that is a kind of therapy where you are just collecting the different bile acids and helping them to convert the cholesterol into a utilizable form. So all of these put together, that is niacin, statins, and bile acid sequestration therapy, will help in lowering the LDL levels. So always keep in mind that the patient, although is advised for non-veg diet, give them some kind of supplements. And if the patient is already on a vegetarian diet, you see that there's a lot of variety of foods, variety of vegetables and fruits in the diet. So the patient should not be restricted to only certain types of fruits or foods. The patient has to have a variety and, as I told you, more of colorful platter. So that will help in bringing more antioxidants into the body.